Okay. Hi guys. So I'm actually just recording this. We're in group 7 here. Welcome to my TikTok. I'm here with Sean, and he's actually teaching me the Mayan calendar. So I just want to record this because you might learn something too about this. So anyways, go ahead.
Okay, so yeah. First of all, 7 is a very important number in the Mayan calendar. It's all about revelation, and it reflects that which is and that which is not. It's about the butterfly. Okay, so in terms of the Mayan calendar, the core of the Mayan calendar is a 260-day calendar cycle, and in that cycle there are 13 20-day periods, and so 13 is a very important number in the Mayan calendar. 13 is all about completion, ascension into the new, over the horizon, into the new. So in this 260-day cycle, as I was saying, there are 13 20-day cycles, and there are 20 13-day cycles. And so where we are in terms of this, we're just completing the 9th 20-day cycle. In the next few days we'll complete that. So these 13 20-day cycles are so important. Each of these are called heavens. There are 13 heavens, and so it works with 7 periods of light and 6 periods alternating of darkness. And so we're in the 9th period. So it starts with 20 days of light, then 20 days of so-called darkness, but it's not darkness as in we understand darkness. It's just when the light is in the shadow, and then it goes into 20 days of light, 20 days of shadow, 20 days of light, and so on right through. It completes with 20 days of light. And so anyhow, where we are now is in the 9th 20-day cycle, which is a cycle of light, which is aligned to Quetzalcoatl, which is Christ consciousness. And so it's a really strong energy of bringing in new light force for growth. And it's just before the sort of time of the budding, and the budding, the bud falls off in the next 20-day cycle, which is literally the opposite of Quetzalcoatl. So we're going from Quetzalcoatl now into 20 days of Tezcatlipoca. And so you may understand the Aztec calendar is all about Quetzalcoatl, or on the Aztec calendar, and on the Mayan calendar it's Kukulkan. So we're going on the Aztec calendar, we're going to Tezcatlipoca next 20-day cycle, which actually starts in 3 days time from now, and it's literally the time where the opposite of Quetzalcoatl comes in. So it's really a time of darkness and being in the shadow of the light. But remember, it doesn't mean it's bad. All it means is that which does not serve the light actually collapses in on itself. So the truth cannot support that which is not true anymore. And so this is what we're going into now. Today's the 1st of November, 2nd, the 4th of November, we're going to Tezcatlipoca. Yeah. And so ultimately, this is where we're going into now. I'm just driving, I'm focusing on my driving at the same time as talking to you about the Mayan calendar. And so today is actually 9 Flint on the Mayan calendar. So it's again the 9th day of these 13 days of Dog, which is all about single-minded action and devotion to the highest ideal.
So that's the undertone.
Yeah, that's the undertone is Dog through these 13 days.
The undertone is the Trisena, which is 13 days.
Yeah, Trisena means 13 in Mayan Cosmo language.
I'm his student.
Yeah. So yeah, and at the same time on the 9th wave frequency, which is another whole dynamic which also works and aligns to this 260-day calendar, but on an expanded level. We're in the shadow at the moment. So everything from the 4th of November is in shadow on so many levels. So this is really interestingly how it connects with what's happening in consciousness. And so what these periods of shadow really bring is the truth to the surface, because we have to, when the time is in a shadow, we have to be a light unto ourselves. So anything that we have to hold ourselves up. So when we hold ourselves up, as long as we're in truth, we can hold ourselves up. If we're not, we collapse. So the consciousness of the collective, if it's not in truth, it collapses. So this is where we're coming into now. So it'll be interesting to see how the next sort of week to 2 weeks unfolds, this energy of shadow coming in on so many levels. But in about, I would say, 10 to 11 or 12 days, we come into the light on the ninth wave frequency. So that will support things and hold things up. The ninth wave frequency is the most condensed frequency of the 9-level Mayan calendar. And that literally is transcending duality. Anything on a collective level that's not in truth will have to collapse unless it's in truth. If it's in truth, it keeps itself up. So you basically, if you're living true to your heart, no matter whether there's dense negative energies around, it doesn't matter, because you're keeping yourself up by living true. And this is what the cycles of time are all about, is basically collapsing, rebuilding, collapsing, rebuilding. So it collapses, which is not true, and it rebuilds it into truth. So this is the Phoenix rising energy that is around at the moment. And the Phoenix rising energy works with consciousness rising from the ashes of the memory of time. And when the memory of time is aligning the heart and mind, the mind is the eagle and the heart is the condor. When those birds fly together, that's symbolic of consciousness keeping itself up above what wants to collapse it.
Wow.
So this is literally a little brief lesson from the way I see it and understand it. And I've taught myself for many, many years. The language of the light teaches me through an understanding of the code of the calendar. And so the beings of light that work with me, they already know this. And because I align with this, they work with me and they teach me more.
So
this is literally. So what's also happening is there's a lot of energies that are possessing our consciousness.
Yeah.
And these are, like, in a sense, entities that are coming in to possess us if we're not living true to ourselves.
Yes.
So it's so important to do the internal work, because these so-called energies, they need a host to survive.
Yes.
And they're using us as our host. They can't survive in the physical if they don't work through us.
Absolutely.
So our whole job is to rise above it and do the inner healing work, do beautiful high vibrational light work, so that they can't affect us. They can't affect anything around us.
Absolutely. Even sometimes, I'm just going to throw this in, a spirit, a spirit on the other side that was an alcoholic when they were alive, a lot of times they'll tend to hang out at bars and pubs.
Yeah.
They'll hang out at pubs because they can get a fix through a vessel.
Yeah.
Get that same feeling,
Yeah.
be
So
completely sloshed.
So what are these energies that are possessing us? I look at them as immature to the will of source entities. So in other words, they're not living pure and true to what the creator that created them wanted them to be or dreamed them to be. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Absolutely.
So our role is to not let them work through us, because literally we are being them then. We are being this negative entity by letting it work through us.
You're absolutely correct.
And so the only way is to live with this high vibration of sacredness and it's compassion, caring, giving more than you receive. All the time, give, because you get more than you receive. Automatically what you give comes back with interest.
It absolutely does. Doesn't matter where it comes from
either.
either.
The 7 days and 6 nights, it's actually a code for what you give, you receive with interest.
Very, very
Because
true.
it starts with light and it completes with light.
We're at 9 minutes.
Yeah, so it's really nice to be able to share this information. This is my heart's calling, to share this and to realize that there's so much to live for. At the end of the day, it comes down to having passion and having motivation. Give yourself motivation with something to do, something that excites and fuels you in your life. You're like, I'm an artist. You can go to my website.
Yeah, where can they find your website?
rockartgallery.com. You'll see me and what I'm about. I'm inspired by ancient indigenous art and the Mayan calendar and indigenous people, the Bushmen especially. You'll see my whole journey with the Bushmen. You can go to that website, and it goes to my art website, to my Facebook website, to my TikTok. Harmonic Light 1320 is my new TikTok account. And so I'm so grateful to Rebecca for sharing this. Thank you, Rebecca. And you're doing some beautiful healing work too, Rebecca.
Yes, thank you guys.
Have a great day.
10 minutes. Beautiful.
Cheers.
Bye guys. Cheers.